Works for me.
We're ready.
Ready enough.
We're live.
Hey guys, today is episode. I love doing this. It's my favorite thing now.
What is up, everyone?
It's Tyler.
It's Tyler. We are episode 114 of whatever the heck we call this thing. I think it's ZZP Power Hour still. There he is. He's
Is this your first time?
you've got the ASL translation for everyone out there.
So
you know.
I am a newbie.
Step back. Hold on, guy. All right.
All right. Who do we got today? We got
I'm Al.
I hate that guy.
Tyler.
You know it's Ryan D at ZZP in your grill.
And then the new face is Dakota V. I'm coming for you.
That doesn't have the same ring as Tyler
does.
V or Ryan.
Dakota V.
Dakota V.
I mean,
Dakota V is
it works.
ZZP.
It works. The V and ZZP, they
Yeah.
flow together nicely.
Oh.
You can cut that differently if you wanted, but you know. But anyway, we got.
See, that's funny because it's not even a good beer.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You got
guys,
the king of beers here.
Do people actually drink this? I was told to try this on camera, and this is terrible. Why do people choose to drink?
Yeah, Trevor likes those.
Yeah, he does.
Ugh.
Isn't that weird?
Trevor, what is wrong with you?
They're amazing.
Uh-uh.
Urine water.
For Paul, man.
Ew. Doesn't matter. Paul,
Doesn't matter who it's for, it's still bad.
Ugh.
So we brought Dakota on today because he himself has a Sonic, and we're talking about Sonics today. Our topic is the Chevy Sonic the best beginner tuner car? And we can talk about Sonics all day. I mean, we have many times. But
We've got a lot of fun stories in a short amount of time.
yeah, right? But getting into modding can be a very overwhelming thing. You know, where do you start? Where do you want to end up? You know, you'll never actually know along the way. But we brought Dakota on because he has a second gen Sonic, the facelift, and it's a pretty nice unit. Why don't you tell us about your Sonic there, Mister?
Yeah, it's 2018. RS has our ZZP Flux kit on it. It's got the cold air intake, stuff like that.
I did not think.
Did we get a picture to throw up of that?
Yeah.
Or, it was the main cover, wasn't it?
It was the cover,
Yeah. So they
I
should be
think you
looking
said
at
flex
it right before this.
I wish I had. I think I could throw it. I thought he said "fucks kid." Fucks kid.
I mean,
Ryan, you're gonna get us pulled off the Disney Channel.
not until the turbo.
Okay,
That's that kit.
that's what I thought he said.
Turbos.
and it's
We'll talk.
a manual, so it's infinitely better.
6-speed.
Yeah.
6 speed and well.
I mean, I know just getting to the top level of it. You know, some people like the first gen versus second gen. That car literally makes me like, all right, there's nothing better about the first gens. Like, to me, I'm
It's
in the
a tough call.
amongst you guys. I know I'm the minority, but like, I think the second gen looks a million times better.
I just don't like the headlights of the first gen.
Yeah, I was on the first gen team, but your car definitely brings it all together. Now, the gauge cluster isn't as cool, but the rest of everything makes up for it. I mean, outside looks great. You can get factory projectors. The interior is nicer. You know, I
couldn't even tell you the difference.
Are you that? Ow, really?
I make them go fast, Ryan.
You could be able to look at a car and know the difference. The only thing that I don't like about the Gen 2 Sonic that I like about the Gen 1 is the gauge cluster.
Yeah.
The gauge cluster in the Gen 2 is a little plain.
What's different?
It's just it looks like a
The headlights are
standard.
different. The front.
Oh, I meant with the gauge cluster.
Standard
It's
gauge.
a standard gauge. It doesn't have like the motorcycle style.
Yeah.
It's just like a standard.
So it just looks like a
Boring
car.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the fun little motorcycle cluster.
But the rest of it is better.
Yeah,
the
the rest of it's definitely better.
Yeah.
Chunkier Mango, yes, Sonics are more expensive compared to 3800s, but you couldn't get a 3800 in a manual, and they're pretty big cars.
They are very.
We're talking about like little hot hatch tuner cars here. Nothing wrong with 3800. They're great.
Well, I mean, people selling 300s for a lot of money.
Chunky or Mango, we put over 600 horse through a stock Sonic trans. Your move.
Ooh, why are you firing plates?
That one is always in the chamber.
That one's always there.
Take that ultra neutral slush box and go away.
Ooh, big ooze. But yeah,
Kelvin, I see you.
Honorary sponsor Taco Bell.
Hey,
So,
Cal.
so I hear Dakota has questions for us. For everyone that doesn't know, my winter car is a red 1.4 sedan Sonic with a few mods here and there. Good little test bed car. Tyler had the Sonic that now another person here at the shop owns. Curtis owns.
Yep, I bought a 2013 manual. Had a blown head gasket, as they all do because they all overheat.
Yep. And you're also the driver of the Drag Sonic.
Drag car, broken many transmissions.
Yep. Al,
A few unnecessarily.
Dad, stop! Stop yelling at your kids.
It's
to
part,
pay
of the,
for all
it's
those.
part of the process.
He's... So, what have you?
I would make it go yeet.
Al drives a blue
He
Art
also
Sonic.
has a Sonic.
Auto car that he drives
Every
that he
day.
Also,
I pound the
make-
miles on that thing.
Yeah.
Z04,
Dude,
full
I
bolt
try to-
ons.
we have that car specifically to drive the snot out of it and try to wear out our stuff so that we
Yep.
can try to find problems before the customers find them.
Correct.
And
It's-
knock on wood, been a great car.
It's a great car.
So, yeah. So
And it's blue. It's the best color.
So we all have Sonic.
But yeah,
experience.
my role involved with the Sonic is probably best summed up by my business card, which says my job title is Yeet Technician, which is funny but accurate.
Funny but accurate. I would
Expel
certainly say.
things with sudden and high force.
Jeez.
So,
Al, fix the headlight in that car, please. I'm calling you out publicly.
Ryan,
Nah, I told you it's a game now.
is your Sonic manual?
It is an auto.
Auto.
I have Tyler's the only one out of here that has auto. That has the manual Sonic.
Good man.
but we kind of go through waves of cars here, personal owned cars at ZZP. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Part of the reason that these platforms get pushed so much by us is just because we have the cars and we love them and we want to drive them.
We get into it and get excited about it.
So the fact that we have 12 1.4 cars here on site,
That's a lot.
I think it's like 16.
it's many.
It's a lot.
It is many.
How? I can't even add them all up, but I know we've sat there and listed them out
8
before.
employees who own them,
Yeah,
plus
so-
all our shop cars.
Yeah. So Al, you before you got here, no one really liked the Sonic.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'm glad you brought that up, and that's why I had mentioned that you'd be a good one to be involved in this specific podcast, because you were the only one of us that was here before the Sonic market became a thing.
Mhm.
And even though it grew after Tyler and I were here, it still went from nothing to where it was at before then, and then from there to here. So you're able to give insight on maybe this wasn't a good tuner car starting out, but because we got so excited about them, they became a good car.
You just have to look at the You really have to look at the proof of the pudding with it. Now multiple people here own and drive Sonics. It's my daily. It's your daily.
They're convenient.
They're very.
You throw the seat down, you can fit a lot of stuff in them.
Yeah.
And I mean, Steve Hickman said it best that. What was it, the first cruise or the Sonic? And he was driving around and he's like, man, if this thing just had 250 wheel horsepower.
Yeah, he was driving around he came to CED.
In the drag car.
Yeah, in the drag car.
Current drag car. So guys, a quick history before we get into Dakota's questions. The drag car used to just be a shop tote stuff around.
And it was bought new, right?
No,
it was a flood.
it was a flood car.
Yeah,
that was a 1.8.
The 1.8 was the flood.
The 1.8 was a flood car.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we had a 1.8.
talking about that car gives me mouth sweats.
Yeah,
It stunk.
was bad. But I drove. I remember specifically. I drove a Regal door to a customer in Chicago in the Drag Sonic before the Drag Sonic. I drove in there, popped it in.
It was just a parts runner.
It's a parts runner, and it got good gas mileage. And Dad, don't fire me. But Dad likes to tint the front windows of every car. I hated that car because of the tinted front windows.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I hate
I hated it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Can my auto cruise make 300 with V3? No.
Unfortunately, the auto holds them back quite a bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you get close. Look at our cruise video, our cruise video, our cruise build series.
Yeah, to get anywhere close to 300 on an auto car, you need a Z04. You quite honestly won't touch 3 with the auto. Unfortunately, they make about 40 to 60 horse less than a comparably modded manual car. Which, the 6-speed autos in those cars, they're not bad. They're not
Yeah, they're
great.
So Connor Murphy's question was relevant.
I think I was just gonna mention that. Let's hold off
Like-
on that let's get into Dakota's.
We could, yeah, get his stuff, but keep that one in the chamber. Obviously, we can't like give you a down to the cents, but we can ballpark.
yeah,
Yeah.
We'll come back to that one though. If we forget, remind us.
we saw you, Connor. You don't just
Yeah.
keep it in.
We'll
there.
get back
We
to
saw it.
that.
We saw it. All right, Dakota. So it's time for you to get on the mic and talk a little bit. So you have some
Alright.
questions for us and things that you were told to come bring to us
So
for enthusiasts.
yeah, basically, you just,
Yes, you can spray it.
you can't
Don't
spray
spray it.
no, no, I just like when you guys. So my car is like going for the ultimate daily.
Mhm.
Basic stuff right now. Looking into getting the like more boost, probably bigger turbo.
Mhm.
Do I go Z04 like Tim wants me to, or do I just do more like internal stuff? Do I do more like cams, headwork, stuff like that?
I think where we need to start is by figuring out what you actually mean when you say ultimate daily,
Yes.
because that is different for every single person at this table.
It is. That is. I was just gonna say. So this is a good question to go out to our customers as well. When you guys come to us and say, "Hey, I want to do a build of some sort," it's a very good idea to say, "Hey, I want to do this with it."
Mhm.
If you tell me, "Hey, I have a $5,000 budget. I want to mainly just day the car around, beat on Mustangs or whatever from stoplights and just have a little fun with it," that's very different than I want to full out time attack, car just or autocross only, whatever. Because our recommendation is gonna be different. But yes, what do you consider to be the ultimate daily?
What do you want to do with the car?
So, I'd like to do more track stuff. Did that one track
Tourney
day.
track stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Straight lines.
Turny turns.
Too easy.
Well, that's very relevant in how we build the
Yeah.
car.
But like at the end of the day, it is a daily. I have a dirt bike and I can't afford a truck, so like it's still got to be able to haul stuff. Like
Gotcha.
you said, parts are important.
You got a hitch on it yet?
I'm waiting on Amazon. They're supposed to deliver it Tuesday. Still not here yet.
Don't talk to me about Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd recommend one of the single spot trailers that have the bike in line with the car, because you already have enough wind resistance problems.
Yeah, I actually had the dirt bike out last weekend, and just to see what it would look like, I put the dirt bike behind it, and you can see front tire and rear tire on either side of the car. It is, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be comical.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's one.
But so
Yeah,
I
correct.
one thing is, how much does stock drivability matter to you? Spool time, responsiveness, gas mileage.
Gas mileage isn't an issue.
Okay.
We all know what I drove before the Sonic.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was
hates
a big
the
diesel.
environment.
Yes. But no, like drivability is as long as it can do what I want it to do, like getting back and forth to work is.
So reliable, but doesn't have to be drive like stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And I go ahead.
The biggest thing I'm concerned about is like you can't pass a vehicle unless you're downshift to the floor, hopefully downhill. So
Yeah.
with the extra weight of a dirt bike, I mean,
That's kind of a Sonic thing in general, though. Like
You do have to roll the gears a lot,
you kind of
on
have
a,
to
especially on a top.
That's
stock
why
dirt
we
bike.
like them. You got to work for it.
Well, and kind of thing, we do have to remember it is a 1.4. So,
Yeah, you've always got the displacement
Unfortunately.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's what. I'm sorry to tangent slightly, but it's so frustrating that I can make power out of this engine.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make it get 40 miles a gallon.
I
And
did-
that bothers me.
Yeah.
I did it once.
Well, I mean, you could do
You
And
can.
even the auto trains, if you set the cruise at like
This is the specific number.
48-ish.
I got cruise control. I did St. Louis. My best friend's wedding was 69.
nice.
And
60, 60,
That's
68.
right where the rollover starts to hit really hard with the hatchbacks.
Yeah.
And then I got caught with sedan. Sedan, for you guys that don't know,
Oh, yeah.
the sedan is more gas mileage efficient than the hatchback. which
Oh,
is-
way more.
Yeah.
Way less dirty air.
Yeah.
But personally, I see no reason not to do the Z04.
I know.
Was that
With
gonna
what
be
he's
better?
wanting to do, it's kind of the standard cookie cutter recipe
Yeah,
I
on a manual car.
on a
Yeah.
manual car. Yeah.
I would do a Z04 for the reason number one, you're towing your dirt bike sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a lot more power for that. The Z04 spools within 200
It's
RPM.
reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, like 200 RPM of that. And anytime you're going fast, and I see how you drive all
Yeah.
the time, and you're beating the snot out
I
of
know
it.
Yeah.
how you drive.
So
You
That's
got
a
a lead
go-kart.
foot.
yeah,
The
yeah, that's not
you'll blow yourself up, kid.
You got a heavy foot.
You gotta have your foot. You gotta have your foot. You're pulling some pieces. But
The spool difference is so small
It's
that you
negligible.
really only notice it on the auto cars
yeah,
when you're leaving
Yeah.
from a dead stop.
the auto cars is bad, but the manual cars. No.
Which we are working on that in multiple directions, and I'm not going to say more than that, but
We got
just
some
because
ideas.
we make a product doesn't mean we're done with it. I mean, look, we still make 3800 stuff. We're still making our Sonic stuff better.
Yeah.
Wait, good question. I have a 1.8 RS hatch, which is kind of a rare car. We don't see those too much. How comparable is available mods out there? I'm currently running a quarter intake with straight pipe and definitely look for more power. So wait, unfortunately, the 1.8s do not have as much of a mod market, at least with us.
At least not here,
At
yeah.
least not here
Mm-hmm.
for that. The 1.8s, they kind of make the same. They make the same power as the 1.4, but the 1.4 you put a tune on it, you're instantly ahead of pretty much every 1.8 out there. And unfortunately, we started selling parts for the 1.8, and unfortunately, the 1.8 guys didn't buy them, so then we kind of dropped the platform.
Yeah. Now, a caveat to that is if you're looking for power, you got to go 1.4.
Yep.
At least in the States. But everything else moves right over. I mean, you can do all the suspension mods. You can make that a really fun car.
And if you're a fabricator, you can absolutely put a turbo on it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Put a turbo on anything that runs.
Yeah, Dakota, looks like the people have spoken.
Yeah.
Uh,
Looks like you
So
do the
yeah,
Z04.
to continue on his build now that the Z04 is established, I would kind of lean towards staying on the stock cams.
I would too.
Yeah, I would do stock cams, if anything, valve springs.
Do dual intake cams.
You could do that.
Free mod. for those of you
What
who don't know.
is really nice is the 1.4. We've never actually found the power limit of the stock bottom end.
Mhm.
We've
You know,
preemptively.
you can make them
Yeah,
if
you
you're
can
just
make 'em,
abuse
right?
them,
Right.
but when
I see.
you're like taking all the proper safety precautions, we haven't found that limit yet.
Yeah, and I mean Ashley's car has a bone stock long block with a Z04, and it made
Right.
It made 290 something with those giant wheels.
yeah huge Ferris wheels on it. But have you driven any of our Z04 cars?
I haven't.
Well, you need to.
The only Sonic that I even rode in before buying mine was Kurt gave me a ride from here to my apartment.
Oh, okay.
I bet that just put you back in your seat.
Oh yeah, rocket ship.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know how that is even big,
What is with you right now?
but I mean it makes all the right sounds and they're
Definitely.
affordable.
When to upgrade head studs? One at a time, right after you take the preceding head bolt out.
Got out. Stop.
It worked,
Worked.
It did.
and it held
When-
600?
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
I did do that, and I'm not ashamed to admit it because it worked. But don't do that.
You upgrade them like if you ever do an engine take apart, because when you put the
Anytime you're pulling the head, I would go ahead and upgrade them.
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. They're reusable.
Yeah.
But I guess before we get into Dakota's further questions, I mean the main question here is the Sonic the best
The
tuner
tuner
car,
car.
beginner tuner car out there? And obviously we work in this platform, so we're going to support it. But dollar for dollar, what you can buy a Sonic for, what you can take it from and get it to with just our off-the-shelf catalog, I don't know what else you could do that with. I mean,
I think the next closest thing is an LNF. That's why I thought Connor's question was relevant.
an LNF, or if you're looking off ZZP, you've got like a Fiesta ST, which is a very similar. It's a hot hatch. It has a low displacement turbo engine. Comes in a manual.
They are pricey.
But yeah,
but
I just
it's
did a
fun
little
stuff.
search before, and the cheapest one in 100 miles of here is $11,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's
You
the
could-
cheapest Sonic? 500.
I mean, I bought mine with a blown head gasket, but still drove for $1,500.
Wow.
I know Tim bought his for less than 10 grand. Now yours is a newer one.
Yeah,
You did spend a little more, but
I paid $10,500 for mine with a set of snow tires
That's still not.
that's not
Yeah,
bad.
but like
and only
Yours-
7,000 miles.
I wouldn't
yours
even,
looks like a 10.5 car
Uh-huh.
with 7,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Al doesn't care what it looks like. The
Right.
thing has a rust hole this big, and then I'll still drive that thing. As a-
yeah, I'd quadruple the miles for $20 off. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Like that's what he does. But overall, I think for now, I will say if you're looking for some highway king race car, no. But the key word we use is tuner car.
Mhm.
A tuner car, like you can have a Sonic and have a lot of fun for very little to no money.
Yeah.
There-
Which is what you do. You just
Yeah.
exactly like you're driving the snot out of it,
Yeah,
beating
I
it.
love it.
And that's the thing, guys, too. Like it's something that we've all been kind of aspiring to at ZZPerformance as well. Is horsepower is fun. Horsepower is nice. Horsepower is in everything. Like
It's not.
you can get a Sonic, do full bolt-ons, a Z04 and stuff, make 250 horsepower.
Yep.
You can beat it and not get in crazy monster trouble and just have fun with the light car.
Yeah.
You can just
Holy
really have
cow!
fun.
I just realized why the Sonic is the best tuner car.
Oh boy.
Well,
Well, no,
It's not because you're not going to get arrested driving it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that just hit me. Like we have in separate conversations dozens of times over the years here talked about how we all go through this process of modding a car until it gets so fast that there's a day that comes where you're just like, man, I wish I could just go have fun in this thing and not be going $130.
Oh yeah.
And that our older, slower cars were more fun to race around in.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait,
yeah.
that is this.
I mean,
you
could-
get to do all the fun modding crazy stuff, and you're not going to blow your block to smithereens. You're not going to shatter the stock bottom end.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be going 1,000,000 miles an hour. You can go out and bang 4 gears in a row, and you're not going to jail.
It's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah. I really do agree to that. Like the Sonic is just a fun bomb around car. Like you can go around corners at full speed with those cars. Like if you ever
It
go
is
Dragon
fun.
in the Sonic, it's really fun. I mean, Randy O'Brien's been there, Tim's been there in the Sonic, and they both love it.
I want to go down there this year if I can.
It's really fun overall. Like I said, you
And
can
they
beat 'em.
handle really
They
well.
handle it. And you can. It's an overall more refined car than the Cobalt. Like,
Yeah, that's
the
another
Cobalt
point
is
too.
the Cobalt is faster. Like yes, a stock LNF is going to be faster than 99% of Sonics, but the price per dollar you get, and then the overall niceness of the Sonic, like interior wise, fit and finish wise, you want to put stuff in it wise, it's incredibly hard to beat a Sonic. You know?
Yeah.
It's incredibly hard. to beat.
The step up in build quality from those 3 years, I mean, even just going from the last LNF to the first year of Sonic is great. And then, like you said, even though it's still a small car, the Sonic just feels bigger on the inside.
It does. It really
It does. It's more comfortable for me than
Yeah,
on
I
a
mean, you
Cobalt.
can fit in it
Yeah.
just fine.
I've done some long road trips in that car.
Oh yeah,
and
me
it
too.
doesn't bother me
Doesn't
at all.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do have to. Mike Atwell said LF Kamaz. Mike, you can email me. We'll talk about it. Views on the scope says you think 3-bar map sensors are a waste. I am sorry that you're wrong. Like you don't have the GM Stage 1 OS without the 3-bar map sensors, and you can't turn up the boost properly. You know,
Mhm.
without.
Yeah, it's not the 3-bar itself, really. It's the
It's the OS.
it's the OS that requires running 3 bars that allows you to actually properly tune the car.
Yes. So that's. But sorry, dude. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but you're wrong. The map sensors are completely worth it.
Yeah.
Also,
you
the
need
stock
those.
ones fail. 3 bars. I've never had one actually fail.
Leslie, the automatic has been great.
Yeah.
Al Sonic is making 250 wheel,
Yeah.
and
Has been for a long time.
for 2 years now.
There's 25,000 miles on that Z04.
Yeah, and we've taken it to the track. Been
It-
totally fine.
that's the car that currently has an automatic record. too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, the automatics,
And it's going to go
Yeah.
faster this year, too.
yeah, the automatics are definitely not bad. You know, are they as good as the manuals? Depending on what you're trying to do.
No, but if we're talking about tuner car, you want the manual.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
But Leslie, I wouldn't hesitate to
Yeah.
modify your automatic at all. The only if you were trying to make 400 or 500 wheel, buy a manual car. But
Yeah.
daily
Oh, it's
automatics
fine.
are good.
That's it. That's what I daily drive on. So it's fine.
Yeah.
What other parts were you thinking about?
Yeah, well, we've been diverging.
Well, yeah, but the podcast is always just
Yeah,
a bunch of tangents
I
and
know.
combined in one
I'm
box.
trying to keep us back. Dakota, you have more questions for us, so hit us with some more of those.
One off the top of the head, what so obviously you guys said the stock trans is pretty robust.
Mhm.
What should I do like differential? Because I went to.
It's worth doing the LSD.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, way worth it.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
the LSD. So a lot of people think like we get a lot of straight line guys. Say, oh, I need the LSD. Need the LSD. No, you don't.
It's actually for the turning guys.
It's all
where
it's
it really helps.
for the turning stuff. So if you want to do the turning stuff, which you have been doing,
Yeah.
yes.
So when we
absolutely.
first got a limited slip here and first put one in the drag car, it was still like fully 100% like daily drivable. And I think actually I had Ashley with me. Went to Dixie, and there's a corner there. You guys know, but it doesn't matter. It's not dangerous, but you can take it with a lot of G-force and really power into it. And so I did that with the open diff, got a feel for it, and then went out with the LSD, and I just started laughing because it just sucked the car right through the corner.
It does.
It is night and day on the Sonic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big upgrade on, say, a Delta chassis car, but to me, having both right now, it's not as big of a difference as it is on the Sonic. Like
It's pretty big.
really digs in.
On the Sonic, if you take a corner hard and give it power, you just roll through the corner while doing a burnout.
Yeah.
And when you put the LSD in, you can feel it pull the front of the car over.
Like ripping and grabbing
it
forward
definitely
with
helps
both wheels.
with the front wheel drive understeer thing. Because Sonic's unfortunately kind of understeer a little more than like Cobalt does. Cobalt rears rotate very well, but the LSD helps significantly with that.
Yeah, that would definitely be on my Sonic tuner car mod list.
Would you do it before the turbo?
No.
No.
All right. All right. I'm sorry to answer for you, but yeah. Brad, what does the Sonic come with stock for horsepower? Good question. So they are both. What's crazy, if you look it up, they are both the 1.8 and the 1.4 are rated right around, depending on what you look at, 141 or 145 crank horsepower.
So let's pause for a second.
Oh, God.
Because for those of y'all that are following along, customers and car enthusiasts in general need to stop and understand that the factory power rating that your car is released with has absolutely nothing to do with what it will dyno on a chassis dyno.
Correct.
The SAE ratings, according to Greg Banish, that's my source, so you can look it up if you want, is steady state at peak power for 60 seconds solid on an engine dyno. That means they find the RPM point where it makes peak power and they hold it there for 60 seconds, and then your SAE rating is the average over that time frame.
That's pretty cool.
That is absolutely nothing even close to what happens on a chassis dyno.
Yeah,
so when car guys start talking about stock ratings and how their car made, OEM level engineers roll their eyes and walk away because it's so much an apples and oranges comparison. Now, does it end up being reasonably close? Yeah, but it's off one direction or the other on one car to the next. Like Ions and Cobalts beat their factory rating.
Very often.
But it's not like some magic that happened. It's just a completely different type of test.
It's also the fact that too that dynos, like even amongst, you can go to 6 different shops and you have the same type of dyno. They all read differently depending on the day, the weather, etc. Blah blah blah. There's a bunch of the variables. Like when people go comparing dyno numbers, oh, I'm in Utah and here's my dyno numbers, and I'm in Florida, here's mine. I'm in Michigan, here's mine. It doesn't it's never apples to apples. I rate on a Dynocom. I rated on a Dyno Jet. I rate on a Mustang dyno.
Well, it's just when you have a car that's been in service for a while and you strap it down to some random dyno, even if it was the same type of dyno, to try to compare to an OE level data acquisition system with millions of dollars of equipment and the AC motor loaded dynos, like I wish I could do that kind of stuff just to get the data.
But so Brad,
anyway, that's my rant.
They usually dyno around 130.
Yeah,
130 and we made on our drag car last year 575 wheel horsepower.
That would be literally
just a little bit.
Yeah, like obviously. So for you guys know, like think about it on LMF, that makes 240. Imagine multiplying that by a little less than 5.
Yeah, you'd be in the 8s.
Yeah, I'd be in the 8s or 9s. So that's a lot of power.
So and that's what I was referring to on the where you can start and where you can take the car with only what we have to offer. We had our drag car on a Z04, which was a prototype, not even a factory or a
I like where you're heading with that because it's tying back into Connor's question.
Yeah.
Which we need to split into building 600 horsepower and building the ultimate tuner car.
Yeah.
Because there's two different conversations. But Tyler's heading down exactly where my brain was going.
So a stock Sonic
Don't worry.
runs approximately a 17-second quarter mile. They are slow. With our Z04, we took our drag car down to 12.0. So think about that. That is 5 to 6 seconds off of your quarter mile. And if you added up a Z04, cams, flex fuel, intake, downpipe, which the Z04 comes with a downpipe exhaust, and an intercooler, you're probably less than $5,000 in, and you're 5 seconds. You're capable of being 5 seconds faster than quarter
Be with that setup. That's around 4,600 exactly, almost.
Yeah, so
that's a stage 2 kit with a Z04 essentially.
Another car in that class, I don't know of one that you can get that much farther on off the shelf parts.
Mm-hmm.
And also to think about, we really have only been pushing the 1.4 for the last 3 years. So in typical ZZP fashion, we are still making parts for the 3800 20 years later.
Yeah.
So to think that
that's another reason why these are a good tuner car. We know there's more coming.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going, and we know where the engine can get us. So
I already know some of the stuff we're working on, and I'm excited about it.
Cody just called in. He talked to me right before he talked to me right before I came up here. 1.4 hatch versus LTG ATS for a fun daily driver to put 30 miles in here.
Sonic all day.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Sonic.
I mean, you got the hatch. The ATS is nice, but
we have
what you're gonna pay.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a lot for that, and then you have to deal with unfortunate stock LTG reliability issues.
Yeah.
Versus you never have touched a 1.4, man.
Yeah.
I love my ATS. I drive the snot out of it, but it's a forged block, blah blah blah, throwing all the
all the beans at it. And now to say,
I'm not gonna tell you.
To talk about this, there is a caveat around the 1.4. It's the cooling system.
Yeah, that's its weak point. Yes,
that is its weak point.
We're working on that too.
But we already have some upgrades. GM took a great little engine and bolted a bunch of piece of junk plastic parts to them, and they all crack. They all fail. The PCV system's crap.
Yep.
So once you get those things out of the way, you're good. We got our PCV fix kit. We've got our aluminum coolant outlet. We got an aluminum valve cover. We got some more things coming. Once that's addressed, you're Gucci.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's very rare these cars that you have true issues, but there's so many of them out there, and people treat them in various levels of repair.
As with any car.
You know, it's kind of, it's the whole 300 thing. There's a 100 to 1, you know, naturally aspirated Grand Prix out there.
Yeah.
And those are in, you can see your ex-baby mama who upgrades from that car up to an Ultima, and then right back down to that car, and then she gets 17 of them in a row, and they never die. But you know, she didn't give a crap about that car. The Kassan's kind of the same way. My red car was a Texas car. That person got it before. Like, it looks like somebody was skateboarding on top of the roof of it. It's all scratched up and all terrible. But that car, once we got it all fixed up, super reliable. I never had a problem with it. And it's a great winner. I can pretend I'm Ken Block with my e-brake that doesn't work, and with that in the winter, it's
wonders for it, right?
It's great. Dakota, you have more questions. We're gonna keep talking. I'm gonna cut these guys off. What's up?
Oh, it's fine.
He learning.
Cheat sheet here.
Yeah.
Absorbing.
Yeah.
Ryan, you do track stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What come into the pits after a session? What's the first thing you check when you're back at the pits?
Okay, actually, yeah.
Did you say his hair?
Yeah.
My hair is always fine. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, let's see that fresh cut.
Well, it's not fresh anymore, but I'll take it off.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to get your flex fit hats. Flex fit better than a trucker hat. So that.
Trucker hat for
you're just hating because you're going bald and you're
no hat life
here.
Yeah. Well, it sides are back here. The middle's.
But anyway, okay. So this is a good question for Tyler as well too. Usually, I go into order of what I would do when come off the track. Come off the track. You know, if you have a good session, open your hood up, just let the car cool down. One thing, like check the brakes, make sure if you had any weird brake pedal feels. After that, fluid wise, you don't always really check fluids, unless check for leaks. I guess check for you see like
Yeah.
give a good visual
Yeah.
around the car, like check for leaks.
Hot engine, look under it.
Yep. So, but
Yeah,
it's not too much really, especially if it's like a hard road course day. Maybe tire pressure, maybe, but even still, that most times that doesn't really change that much.
Chunky Mango says if the car is on fire,
That too.
you should check that.
I actually was thinking that because while you guys were talking, I was thinking about what I do because my racing is different, and that is literally the first thing I check when I get out of the car.
Yeah, make sure it's not on fire.
I have so much stuff packed in there.
No, the PCB upgrade is not required.
First thing I do is pop the hood and see how hot things are.
Yeah.
Sometimes all you can do is look at it.
Doing a general visual inspection around the car is the first thing I do.
Yeah, just make sure it's not looking. If your engine bay is clean and you pop the hood and you look under there and it's looking really shiny with oil.
Clean.
Randy
might be
Randy brings a good idea. That is something that I've forgotten to mention. I just don't do it.
Don't set your EB.
Do not set it because you'll just end up welding pads to rear rotors and stuff like that, which is not fun. Obviously sometimes you don't need to check for a fire. A fire just happens and then you're done. But yeah, no, I do a good visual check on no leaks or anything like that. Tire pressure after that.
There's lots of things you can check that there's no downside to checking.
Correct.
Like your tire pressure, lug nuts, things like that.
Sonic specific though, that coolant outlet.
Yeah,
but you have the aluminum one now, right?
No.
Oh dang, I thought you got that.
Check for leaks.
But we've seen it 3 times where the coolant outlet on the side of the engine has popped after an autocross or a road course. I think it happened to Noah in Ashley's car. It happened to him.
They trying to fight. They I didn't even get in there.
Oh, my hat's backwards.
What?
He got in there.
Oh, he did. Okay, I didn't see it.
But I think the mannequins are going to win.
Boys.
If anyone didn't notice, we now have 2 mannequins.
Mannequins. If y'all say Al wears his hat better than me, yours is blind. So sorry.
I mean, we got 2 trucker hats versus 1.
I'm so lost right now.
He doesn't know which way's up.
Who wears the hat better?
Oh, it's me.
No.
It's for the check. I get it now. I was so lost.
Yeah, you're good. But
what else you got, Dakota?
Yeah, hit us.
How does a compound turbo setup work? I'm glad you asked.
No one's asking that.
How do you choose what class you run when you're doing like a track day?
Oh,
I guess Tyler could answer this too.
Well, yeah. Usually each class has a set of rules on what you can and can't do.
Right.
In most cases, usually you can only going to fall into one. Sometimes there may be some overlapping ones. But
wait, Ryan, I will interject. Are you talking about like beginner, intermediate?
Yeah.
Advanced?
Are you talking about HPDEs and stuff?
I guess both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Good question. People have too much ego, and people are thinking going into beginner is just the worst thing you could possibly do. I'm not a beginner. I want to show people what I can do. You can, if you ever have a question, go and beginner.
Okay.
Every time. That is my honest suggestion, because you are there's nothing negative about looking at it. You can, and most times, most like HPD stuff, they'll let you to move up.
Yeah.
But just what's nice on track is don't have an ego. Like, hey,
there's no Formula One recruiters out there.
No,
they don't care. Just go have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it'll come naturally at some point. You'll go, okay, I think I'm ready for intermediate.
Yep.
And unfortunately, intermediate is probably the worst class because it's all the dudes who think they're better than beginner.
Yep.
But then they move up too quickly. Right. But like Ryan said, if you ever have,
so stay in beginner until you can race expert.
Yeah,
essentially, yeah. Well, because that's the thing.
It makes sense.
I actually moved from beginner to advanced.
Yeah. Well,
I did it long enough that I felt comfortable.
And he did, and he's fine.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Like, it's a lot of people just jump into it because they think that they can do it. I'll never. There's a story at Grid Life one year. This guy with a F-body Camaro. He'd never been on track before. When it signed up for intermediate, and then it showed us like, hey man, we should probably bump you back down. No, I want to do this, and it started with, and it said, hey man, do this. No, I'm not doing that. He's just telling him no the whole time. Like, well, dude, what's the point of you having an instructor being on track with intermediate? He's holding the line up, not giving point by stuff, and he was just a terror. No track etiquette, none. But then they started being a little more. They're gonna force people to go down. But because in the beginning, you've been fine.
Yeah. Just be a good person. That's what I always say. Tamil, we don't recommend our billet actuator because the V3 already has a higher rated spring pressure in the actuator, and going to the billet actuator makes tuning harder. So that's coming straight from Tim, who does all our 1.4. Advance is just 200cc Mario Kart.
I wouldn't go 200cc. It's not.
He's not wrong.
It's not, but it's at least 150cc. No, that's probably 200cc.
I would say it's 150, and then time attack is 200.
You're right.
There we go. See?
Man, I did Big Blue on 200 a couple days ago just for fun.
Did you win? Like,
Nah.
What? Why not?
I ain't won all the 200 time trials yet. I'm still working through 150s.
Oh, there you go.
Come on, dog.
I'm getting there, gee.
So Dakota, you've owned your Sonic for 4 months now?
It's like 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I bought it in December.
Okay. What?
5 months.
Yeah, 5 months. Yeah. What do you love about the Sonic? Or what do you like
He has
versus
The fact that I
your other
forced him to not get
because-
rev wheels.
So
Yeah.
and also
The way
you
it
can
looks.
talk about your Miata that you had.
Yes.
So compare it to that.
I was just gonna bring that up. Miata build was 5 years in the making. I drove it for a
What
summer.
was it for the people out there that don't know?
I had a right-hand drive Nissan RB20 swapped Miata. Looked cool, sounded cool when you're talking about it.
Sounds good, doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and it didn't work. Although it made cool sounds,
Yeah.
but it never made it back to the street. So got rid of that. Got rid of the diesel life. Got a Sonic because it made sense. They're cheap, and I can mod it on the weekend. Drive to work on Monday.
Yep.
What I will say, just kind of interject too, Dakota. I remember your first day driving it. You came up to me. You were like, "How do you know getting this gas mileage was possible?
Yeah.
Like drive by diesel."
Yeah, what did your truck get?
Maybe 16 if I drove it nice.
Wow.
And I've been driving the Sonic for 5 months now, and it's still averaging 32.
Whew.
That's insane.
And
It's literally double.
like Ryan said, I drive it
You drive
everywhere.
it.
Yeah.
Drive the snot out of
And
it.
that's one of the other cool things about a 1.4 is it really doesn't matter if you beat on it all the time
Doesn't
or
care.
if
Thank
you are really babying it. They get very similar.
Yeah, if
gas
it's a
mileage.
manual, it's going to get high 20s. If it's an auto, it's going to get low 20s.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, that's so true. So I'm sitting at a stoplight. I'm in an intersection here. Dakota's here, turning here to go the same way I am, and he floors it.
Brad, I told you, customer service. This is not customer service.
Yeah, Brad.
But yes, Brad, we can sell them to you.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So he's doing it. I'm like, man, he went through like 2 or 3 gears. It looks like he's having a lot of fun. If I go in 2 or 3 gears in my ATS, I'm breaking the speed limit by like double.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
yeah.
It's just
When I think of why I like the Sonic so much, especially coming from the Miata, it's all the joys of driving it like you're, in a Lamborghini or Ferrari. It's a fast car, but you're not speeding.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can put it into a corner, foot down, no drama.
Yeah, it's literally
It's good.
That's foot down, no drama.
It-
I like it.
Yeah.
Good induction noises. The 1.4s sound really good with an
It is.
exhaust.
It is. I don't understand. It is. I would say it's top 3 of best sounding cars, like
It's-
platform
That
wise.
we serviced,
I
yeah.
have theories on it, but it's all nerd stuff.
Yeah, we're not talking about that right now.
I know.
But yeah, you throw an exhaust on an LSJ.
Yeah.
And you take it back off.
You throw an exhaust without an equalizer on a 3800. You do that with an equalizer. It might be. I
pretty
would
good.
say it's probably our second best sounding after our ATSV with
ATSV
an
is
exhaust.
number 1.
But then next up,
It's Sonic.
got to be a 1.4.
They have a really good grumble to them.
They do.
Even with a 3-inch,
They
they
do.
sound great.
Even with the equal length on the drag car, too.
Yeah.
But anything sounds good at $8,000.
I'd say yeah. I mean
Yeah.
RPM.
I haven't pushed mine that far, so
Yeah, your
Don't-
turbo
don't-
is way out of
don't-
steam
yeah,
right there.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, man.
foot down, no drama.
I don't know if you could hit 8K with the wastegate open without that thing exploding. Isn't he on stock turbo still?
Yeah.
That's
Sonic turbos have issues too, but and see, another great reason Sonic is a platform car, at least for ZZPerformance too, is that it's a car that has factory problems, like
things you can upgrade.
things you can upgrade. That's why for other markets and stuff, it's there's not as much to do, but Sonic has a ton of parts, and it's problems that we can easily fix, and they're just fun.
It's definitely a while I'm in there kind of car.
Yeah.
God, you are the king.
Oh, I am.
That's like the brake upgrades that I'm doing right now.
Yeah. See?
I wanted a rear disc conversion. I'm like, well, I want to do more track stuff, so might as well do, .4. I'm like, well,
While I'm in there.
had some pedal fade at Grattan, so let's throw a big brake kit on there.
See?
Let's get a whole new brake system.
It is just the life.
It is.
It's tinkering. It's making little improvements.
I'll pay you $0.25 to guzzle this thing. It sucks so
You
bad.
had one sip.
It's so bad.
It looks like you took one drink and spit it back.
I sniffed it and I want to vomit again.
Just give it to Trevor. He'll take it.
Oh,
Maybe he needs a lime in it. I'm sure that'll fix it.
He doesn't
I
even
can
care
smell
about
it. You don't drink with your nose.
but no,
That's true.
Oh, I have tears about. Anyway, sorry, Dakota.
You're good.
Hey, let's take.
Well, no, he has more questions though. When we have like 15 minutes.
Well, let's not forget the 600 horse comparison.
What do we have at the end? Right at the end.
Okay.
So.
You have no questions after Ryan just gave you that speech?
You got questions?
Don't
let him intimidate you. He's the worst.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know, man.
What? Dakota, don't do this to me, dog.
So to run a compound turbo.
I'll talk to you after this.
Yeah.
You daily your Sonic. Did you? I know Kurt bought his Sonic from you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you drive it in the snow?
Yeah.
Oh, they're great in the snow.
They're fantastic.
My Sonic, granted, it had brand new Blizzaks on it when I got it.
Amazing.
Outperformed my 3/4 ton.
Wait till you get an LSD in it.
You
can plow snow with the bumper.
For me, the Sonic makes sense for not only gearheads like us, but maybe you got a kid going to college.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great kid car, dude. Like, so my auto Sonic, one of my favorite things to do is acting like I'm just this pro FD driver, in the snow. So I'll leave my light and I'll just turn the fast off and floor it. And I'm going like 2 miles an hour, and I'm like, I even kind of fake pull up the e-brake just for a second and all that, but it's just so fun, and I'm not gonna get in trouble, and I know it'll stop, and it's predictable. Like, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're really good in the snow.
I was trying to get into my storage unit. I don't remember what me and the girlfriend were going to get. It's probably Christmas decorations or something. And I went through a snowdrift, and I seen her grab the door, and it just went through it. Just boom, second gear. Yep. No problem.
Yep. Miguel, bigger turbo on a Sonic? Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. We can dive.
Always good. Brad, so it's kind of a loaded question because the Cobalt PCM is a big dummy.
LJ PCM is not a smart PCM.
There's not much there. Easy to tune if you've done it 100 times like Tim. Yeah.
Yes.
But all the new stuff is torque based. There's a lot more calculations that go into it. For someone looking to get into tuning themselves, I wouldn't start there.
I'll say this. I think, I don't know, Brad, if I'm going to say same wavelength as you are. Like, if you bring it to ZZP, we're going to be able to tune either one of those just fine. Yeah. Is the Sonic ECU a better ECU? I'll arguably say yes,
hands down,
because you can.
And the drivability is
hold on now.
It just depends on
the way
right.
Like, for instance, the Sonic one can do flex fuel. Mm-hmm. That's something that unfortunately LSJ nor the LNF one. LNF was a pretty good one too. Is they can't do those. Versus and all just how in depth it is good and bad. However, for people who have tuned it and know what they're doing with them, I would say they're equal to tune. Like, but if you're just a novice beginner, probably not that easy. But I'm not sure. Again, I'm not assuming or not. Like, I don't think if you guys are actually looking to pick up HP tuners and learn for yourself, start with a Cobalt. But
the process is different.
Yes,
it takes completely more time.
Yes, but like if you're,
but it also results in better drivability on
Yep.
larger injectors. They have a fuel pump controller that you
Mhm.
can turn down. Like that, it's almost a decade newer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's gonna be better in some way.
You gotta remember, guys. Yeah, our Cobalts are old now. I'm still driving mine, but my ATS next year will be 10 years old.
Yeah.
Cadillac.
Yeah.
And then my Cobalt is older than that. And I still have it for so my car is like old. And it's kind of sad. Like, you know, it reminds me of my dog.
Mhm.
My dog. You know,
And see, so to expand on what Ryan was saying, when you said better, where my brain went was better in terms of being able to do what I want with it as the tuner. And so in that context, I would say the LSJ is better
Yeah.
only because at the extreme power levels, it is way easier to make that PCM do what I want.
Oh, way easier.
oh, that,
And,
yeah. 'cause
and
it's
I'm
so
not
simple.
even talking about like hacks or backyard work. Like you can make it do the right thing
Yep.
and get the right fuel and the right timing.
We're gonna segue into your question about 600 horsepower LNF
Oh,
versus that. XT5 Live, what flex fuel percentage is best? That 100% depends on your car and your fueling system. So if you are a car that can handle full 85 and have all the fuel pressure you need, run full E. Most full E is
Yeah.
between 78% to 83%. Very rare to actually find a actual full
Yeah.
E85. However, if you have a car like the ATS-V, or you have a DI car like even the ATS, and when it's getting certain warmer weather or certain colder weather, whatever, you have to change your E percentage. But I usually run around on E47. But that 100% depends on the car.
just to note, I drive a consistent drive often out of town, and I've tested different blends in the cost effectiveness,
Mhm.
and my best dollars per mile on average is right around the E47 mark.
Yeah,
That's
that's
somewhere in the half and half range.
yeah. For those who don't know, that's 50-50, half and half. Now, because Connor asked the question earlier, what is better for making higher horsepower, 600 horsepower LNF?
Which ties into that PCM stuff
That's
directly.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So and then I was bringing it up versus 600 horsepower LNF versus 600 horsepower Sonic. What is going to be better for that?
It's going to be the LNF because we're also, this whole podcast is about the tuner car. So daily drivable is part of that
All season
conversation.
car, yeah.
Can you make 600 on the 1.4 and within some resemblance of what I would call reliability? Yeah, I think so. But to get to that level and have it still be mannered properly for driving on the street, I think you're 100% into standalone territory.
Yeah.
I think you're in standalone territory, and I think you're gonna be at a displacement. As far as turbo,
Right.
turbo to
Yeah.
that, like you guys, we have to remember that it is a 1.4.
Mhm.
So turbo that's going to not lag as much on a 2 liter. It's going to lag more on a 1.4.
Mhm.
So you have to run a pretty large turbo on that thing.
Right.
You gotta
So the way they're going to drive is different.
Mhm.
Compound turbo solve
I
that.
was just
but-
gonna say that.
Anyway,
Dakota's on the right.
Compound turbo
I know
is not
he's on train.
feasible for most people.
they're feasible for him. He can do it. I know
No,
he can.
don't.
Anyway, since that's not practical for almost everyone,
Almost everyone.
if you reframe the question in to where you're building it to getting the car itself to a certain level, not necessarily a dyno number.
Yeah.
Like all the basic bolt-ons, it's the level that we talked about earlier, where you wish you would have left the car alone.
Mm-hmm.
Those are still very comparable from LNF to the Sonic.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in an LNF, you're probably going to be looking at tune, pipes and intercooler, exhaust, and Z54.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
going to get you in like the mid fours, which is about the tolerable range for a Delta chassis as far as a daily driver.
Yep.
The Sonic, you could argue and say flex injectors, Z04, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. Well, look at it like this: you're doubling if you double the number of both cars,
Right.
like so a Sonic.
That's a good way of phrasing it.
Yeah, I got what you were putting down. If you double the number of both cars,
It's similar.
it's very similar.
Very similar.
You can bolt on it. Granted, if the physical number on one is lower than the other, you can have a 280 to 300 horsepower Sonic doing your say. I think you gotta do cams and all that stuff, maybe flex, whatever.
But cams are cheaper for the Sonic. Valve springs are cheaper for the Sonic. The Z04 isn't cheap, but when you actually look at everything it comes with, versus having to buy that stuff?
Rouse Springs ain't cheaper, but that's another story. Rouse Springs retainers aren't cheaper.
Oh, they're not cheaper?
No.
Oh,
Combined,
that's
they're a
stupid.
little bit more, not much.
Yeah,
Either way, either way. So, doing an LNF versus a Sonic for that. The LNF will physically make more power. If you're looking to race your buddy's 5.0 Mustang, or
Like a
highway car,
Yeah.
or something like that, yeah, the Cobalt is going to have a few more things out there. But if you're looking to have a car that's going to be fun, beat snot out of it, never have to worry about it breaking, can still find parts for it, and have actually a lot more body stuff out there because the cars are Korean. So for good guys, they're all American only. Well, Sonics are Koreans in a Korean car, and they are actually avails, which is kind of cool. But there's a lot of body parts.
It's a Daewoo.
Yep. So you can have a lot of fun with these cars, do a lot of stuff with them, just have an overall full build. You can probably push that in the versus the Cobalt more. Will the Cobalt make more power? Yes.
Yeah.
Even at 600 horsepower,
Yeah.
I think it's a little more easier to do
But
just on engine.
we're here to talk about what's the best tuner car. And
Yeah.
I think when
you apples to apples,
you average out what tuner car means to all of us,
all of us up here, yeah.
I don't think there's any way the Sonic doesn't win.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Dakota?
Yeah.
I forgot.
No.
I'm sorry.
Too long ago.
We got like
Yes, the drag car is on forged internals. It's on stock head though.
stock heads and
Stock bar?
a little bit of spray.
Stock crank.
Not much.
I was just gonna say, I have our cold air intake, flex 60-pound injectors, the PCV kit, and I think that's it. And I cannot complain about my car.
No exhaust spots? You don't have any exhaust spots in that car yet?
He has that
I have
factory GMPP
yeah.
exhaust. Heat shield.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the heat
And
shield.
Yes, the factory.
I have-
Well, we need to run that to ZO4, see how it sounds.
Hey, boys and girls,
Oh.
I'll have to
Okay.
put the muffler back on.
this guy bought a heat shield because he knows it's amazing. You guys,
It looks
Sonic guys,
so good.
start buying them
It looks
because
good.
we need you guys to buy them so we know that it's worth us making these parts continue this. So
It looks so cool.
yeah, keep doing it. We got our satin black one. Looks amazing.
Ooh, the black one just went up
Yeah, went up.
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
2 days ago
2 days
on
ago.
the website.
Please get it, Sonic guys.
Those are cool.
All right, we got 2 minutes left, boys and girls. We got 2 minutes left before the weekend. Do we talk about what we're doing? What? How do we end this up?
Yeah, let's. Will, I'm glad you got your suspension parts. You're gonna have fun, and I'm a suspension guy. I love installing
suspension?
You don't say.
having fun doing turny turn and stuff.
It makes sense.
It's just a smarmy way of saying it. I hate you, Al.
Yeah.
I didn't take it like that. He's also my dad, so
I know your dad's never pleased with you anyway.
Weird.
Yeah,
He's only
I'm
2
allowed to speak to him differently than I am to you.
He's only 2 years older, but he birthed me.
It's weird.
Impressive.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, what you doing this
There's the
weekend?
genesis of a non-rotational black hole.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
god. What is wrong with
Mike knows what I'm talking about.
you? You're a bunch of space nerds.
Brad, you're not annoying. We love you.
Oh,
Yeah, Brad, we
What
love
you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
I don't know. My wife made plans.
Okay, there you go. That's easy.
I mean, I wanted her to because like if you want to have a fun day Sunday, then maybe you should pick what we do.
There you go.
That's what we did.
I am staying after tonight, working on the blue car. In the morning, waking up, mowing the lawn, working on the blue car, and then maybe go
There
see
had
the
a
mom
transmission.
on Sunday. But yeah, I got a track weekend next weekend, and I am not prepared in the slightest.
Nope.
In typical ZZP fashion.
He's gonna eventually. I'm not putting this out there in a bad way, but he's gonna realize that LNF is the best vehicle he's gonna do it with. Just saying. Let's say.
He's got to get it done first.
No,
You're not allowed on the next Sonic podcast.
No, I'm talking about because he's gonna track later with LSJ.
I got it.
So
Because it is the race car.
yeah, and you're gonna realize that the better race car is your daily.
But if it blows up,
See,
I might be moving on.
See?
It should.
Yeah.
Anyway, what you doing?
Oh man, I got kind of a longest weekend, so I need to go home today. I haven't ordered Popeyes in like 10 weeks. I want to order some, but I'm not going to. Tomorrow I have 2 different D&D sessions. One is 5 hours long, another one is 6 hours long. So I can do D&D all day after the morning cooking breakfast. Sunday, Mom's coming over, doing some with her and Isaiah.
Do you get dressed up for those?
No, that's live. That's LARP. I sit in my pajamas.
I'm sorry, that was a genuine question. I didn't.
do. I'm sitting in my pajamas on my computer, my guy.
I thought that was a thing.
No, that's live. That's LARP. That's something.
Okay, sorry.
By the way, yeah, guys, don't forget it is Mother's Day this weekend. Hug your moms. Don't be a car D-bag. Just go spend time with your mom, drive a nice car or whatever.
You only get one.
Yeah. I'm also waiting on Amazon to send me my Devil's Own.
I'm sure they're listening.
I know. I'm just gonna rant about it like I do everything.
Bill from Amazon is
Bill from Amazon. So guys, I ordered a meth nozzle that I need, and
Brad, go to Amazon and get the meth nozzle for me.
Yeah, Brad, go do that.
Go
Yeah.
hijack the truck.
Yeah, like I've been waiting on it. It's out of stock. We found it on Amazon. They said they had it. My package has been delayed for an unknown amount of time. I want my thing so I can put my fifth injector back on. Sorry.
Your fifth injector is probably with my hitch.
No, I know. We know it's still there. I just need that so we can do stuff. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing.
Ryan's triggered.
I am very triggered. I want my parts so I can turn my boost back up to 35 pounds.
That's it?
That's it, boy.
That's all he gets. So we don't need you helping.
All right, Dakota, what are you doing, Mr. I run 60 pounds of boost? I'm an ex-diesel guy.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I know you're not. You're running like 12 right now, homeboy.
Till he compounds it.
He's not compounding it.
Moving a toolbox tomorrow. Hopefully installing a hitch, and then maybe getting the dirt bike out. So nice.
I did drive snow car yesterday. It was pretty fun, even on the gate
good.
pressure it's on right now. But, all right, boys. I think that's it. It's 5:02.
Yeah.
Hope you all have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Please be nice to us over the weekend. Love your moms.
We'll see you Monday.
See you next Friday. Sorry. Well, no, most of us will because we're gonna have emails from multiples of you. I assume.
We'll talk to you on Monday.
We'll talk to you Monday. What time I said?
Catch you next time.
Catch you next time, boys.
Yeah, bye.
Throw this in the woods. Whoever's there, is this still on? Throw